Connecting. Go live. Live stream on YouTube is live. Stream on Twitch is, it says we're live. How do I get into my own stream on Twitch? All right, stand by. Firing up monitor, which is my Surface. And we'll so you are one of the screens. Let's get this up. Okay, while I do this, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Man, this takes a minute to get everything going.
Mm-hmm. And next time we'll just start. We'll start a little earlier.
Well, I start at 6:30. It still takes me a long time. I start up just about 6:30 every time, at least.
Yeah, shoot.
I'm almost there.
Dude, I mean, I understand how it is, man.
Why isn't it showing my main screen? Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay, Facebook, checking out the Facebook. Now, what I'm just doing is going to the various pages and monitoring it and watching in real time.
Yeah, I understand how it is.
Okay. Okay, there it is. Why aren't you muted? Mute. You're killing me. All right, next Facebook is. So this is the reason why it takes so long, because I'm being cheap about it and not using Restream, which does all this automatically.
I mean, if need be, I'm more than willing to chip in.
I just hate their business model, man. It's so annoying. I just refuse to give in. Because, I mean, they charge you literally just to stream to a different RMTP addy. Last one. It says Jasmine is live. Okay. All right. Shane, can you see my screen?
I can.
All right. So we can go ahead and get started.
All right, cool. So they were saying that they can see us out there.
Yep, I got all of them going.
Well, in that case, then I want to say to everyone, Bon Vinon.
Oh, wait, hold on. One thing. They can't hear you.
What the heck, man?
Default. And we are coming from here. Okay, give me some words, Shane.
Some words, Shane.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I was working on when you came in. Make sure to check in the audio. Totally forgot to finish it out. Easily distracted with all these moving parts. Okay, I got your audio into the stream, so that's good.
Cool, yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started.
So what was I saying? Oh yeah, Bon Venom.
What does that mean?
That's Esperanto for welcome everybody to the Vanishing Point. My name is Shane Grant, and alongside me, as always, is Deigratia Daniels. Hello to the people, Deigratia.
Hello, people. How y'all doing?
hmm I want to say to all of y'all, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a good one for you. We're going to talk a little bit about origins. We're going to talk about a little bit about AR, and particularly a game I used to play a lot when I was younger. I think you mentioned, no, you were never a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, were you, D?
Dude, my deck is sitting next to my bed.
Oh, in that case, then yeah, I think this is a topic that is going to be near and dear to your heart. And if we have time, we have a couple more topics as well. But before we go into anything, D, what's the first thing on the agenda?
So one of the things we're going to talk about today is the genesis of this particular show, The Vanishing Point, hosted by the SingularityU Atlanta Chapter. We're a fairly new chapter, and we are constantly trying to find new ways to engage an audience that is zoomed out. So we're going to talk about how we got to this particular show. And Shane, how long have we been doing this, man? It's been a while now.
We're slowly approaching a year.
Yeah, we're slow. Like it was like June time frame, June
Yep.
time frame.
Yep, we will be approaching a year in a minute.
Oh gosh, I can't believe it's been that long.
I know. Used to be a young man before this. Mind you, that was before we even started this show, so I ain't gonna say too much on that.
Yeah. So what do you want to start when it comes to? Hold on, let me see if I can cut this off. Pause. Okay. Where do you want to start when it comes to? Oh, before I get started, I want to say, hey, everyone, I have created a reoccurring meeting notice for this show, the Vanishing Point live stream talk show. It happens every other Monday night, 7 p.m. You can see the invitation by going to Singularity University and finding the Atlanta Chapter discussion page. I have it up here on the main window. So I invite you all to join SingularityU Atlanta Chapter, and it doesn't take anything to join it. You just go in and sign up, and then find the Atlanta Chapter. Or if you're interested, shoot me a note, leave me a comment down below, give me a call, shoot me a text message. If you're interested in joining the chapter. And what our chapter is about, Singularity University is about, is exploring exponential technology and using exponential technology to overcome local, regional, and eventually global issues um, that we face regularly here. So that's a very, very, very high level overarching description of what SU Atlanta chapter does. Again, I can talk to it. I can talk to you more if you shoot me a comment, leave me a comment, give me a call, or get in contact with me. Okay, back onto the show. Shane, we've been at this thing for almost a year, man.
Yes, it has been, man. It's been a while.
So help me remember how we first started.
Well, it all started back when we were around, I would say Mayish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we went to and you brought up to me the concept of you wanted to have a bit of a talk about just technology and kind of where we think things are going, how we feel about it. We just had a long conversation about it. And around the time, we just thought, hey, this would be fun if we actually, recorded a lot of these discussions and actually brought people into it.
Yeah.
And that is where we functionally began with it. It started off there, and it just kind of carried on further, where we started talking more and more about. And eventually, we kind of came up with it. The initial notion of the show was called Everything Ruined," where we talked about a lot about technology and how the misconceptions of people's ideas of technology kind of got ruined as time went along. People would think this, they would think that, they would think some other thing about technology, and we kind of go over some of the ideas of it and just kind of ruin it for people.
Yeah, the original name was the Everything Ruined Show, and you coined that phrase because you said it, and I was like, yo, that's awesome. Let's run with that.
So with that in mind, we decided to move forward with it. We did that for a while. And then we got involved with Singularity University. You already were involved with Singularity U, just in general. And you decided that, and we talked about it and thought, you know what, this would be a great way of kind of spreading the word of Singularity U. So since you already were the head of the Atlanta chapter, you decided to kind of go through and transition the Everything Ruined show to the Vanishing Point. I honestly think the Vanishing Point is a better name, frankly, but I think we've been slowly transitioning away from that to the point where we are now, where we're now doing the Vanishing Point.
Yeah, and when we first started getting into the Everything Ruined show, we started by typing up some show notes that we would maintain regularly, where we had and the show notes was very process oriented, where we say, hey, start up all these things, okay, announce yourself, welcome the audience, and then we had our guest speakers, anybody that was in it, and then we had our topics for the day. We may or may not have gotten through all the topics, but we at least had some things that we wanted to get through, or at least some points that we can talk through and keep the show moving forward. And after that, in our show notes, we had like the outros and make sure we left all our social media. So we put some structure behind this to get this going. And now we've done it so much, we kind of got a rhythm of how the show goes. But we based it on some show notes and put some actual organization and structure into it now. So the next phase where we're going into is like you're mentioning. Here we are transitioning into the Vanishing Point, and now we're trying to as the producer on the back end and creating digital content such as intro bumpers and outro bumpers and logos and all the social media tags and posts that will go in the video. I'm still in the process of creating that, but that's where we're going to give it a nice polished a production look.
Mm-hmm. It's been an interesting ride in how we kind of handled this. I would say it's been interesting how we even handle things like guests on the show. Beforehand, in terms of structure, we would try to have a guest every show. We found that was kind of a little bit unfeasible. Plus, it was just we found it kind of took away from what we were trying to even go through here sometimes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we started kind of going through and just say, okay, let's just do the show. Let's go through it. Here's the topics we're going to talk through today. Let's go through it. That being said, some of my favorite shows we did were when we were having guests and kind of going through with going through some of the points with them. It's been a real fun ride in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. Guests give that that unexpected third person perspective, because you and I will fairly often end up on the opposite ends of a topic, right? So it's always good to have a third person come in there to add a different perspective for the both of us.
Mm-hmm. I think it's partly. I mean, there might be things like, say, generation gaps. There's things like just how we both view things in terms of the decision. I honestly feel like that keeps the show balanced. It gives you the both ends of we try to give you both ends of the spectrum here when you come in and watch the show.
Yep. Yeah, that's
that
awesome.
way.
So what have you learned so far?
In terms of over the course of just doing the show?
Mm-hmm.
Like podcasting is a rough business. Like, I am a guy who listens to a lot of podcasts. Like, when I'm in the car, I don't really listen to music a lot. I listen to podcasts as I'm going from point A to point B. And it's kind of, you see people doing it and they say, oh, hey, we're going to take a break off on this show and that show. And you think to yourself, when you're a listener, oh man, that sucks. Like, what the heck, Like, no, when you do the podcast yourself, that's a whole block of your time that you have to dedicate to the show. And that's a lot of stuff that goes on here. And I know I've canceled shows that said, okay, let's not do this, let's not do that today, just because I've been busy or because something's gone on around in my life that I had a fire I had to go and put out. So I've learned I think I've gained a greater appreciation for podcasters. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
What would you say you've learned over the course of the shenanigans, D?
So some of the things that I've learned is is to start early because something's always going to go wrong. I mean, I think
Mm,
we had microphone problems every single time for like at least 6 months.
mm,
Because we even tried different streaming platforms. We tried Hangouts. We used Discord. We may have used some other things, but just trying to find that right balance. Because we started with Discord and went to Hangouts, but one of the problems with Hangouts was is that only one person can present at a time, and I just didn't like the notion of just having to switch back and forth between the presentation styles. One
mm.
of the things about Discord is that you can have as many people, you can have a lot of people in there, and anyone can share their screen at any given time. And I can pop out the window and focus in on it and do some interesting things with Discord. Reason why we moved from Discord early on is because I was having so many drivers and microphone issues. Just because I have a lot of audio software packages on this particular computer, and Discord was getting confused by the various drivers that I had on the computer.
Yep, that was one of our big things we had in the very early going of this. It was a constant battle.
Yeah, and remember to pitch my voice down. It made me sound like deeper and older.
So deeper than older than usually do.
Yeah.
So this now.
So, but
Oh, that was honestly like there. I mean, hardware issues aside, that is one of the things I would say I've definitely kind of gone to appreciate when it comes to doing this show is the value of like good microphones, good audio phones, et cetera, et cetera. These things are vital in
yeah,
order to making sure that you have a proper thing going on here. If they're not working, that you're not having a show.
yeah.
Period.
What are some things that you would like to improve on?
I would say the biggest thing I would like to improve on is perhaps is one is our timing, just in terms of like making sure we get on the right time and we get off on the right time, et cetera, et cetera. I think this first year we've been focusing mainly on just kind of getting the hang of it, getting used to it, kind of find our structure. This year I want to focus on us kind of expanding, getting out there, get our name out there, doing more with other people.
Yeah, those are awesome. I like those. Some things that I want to work on is, we've talked about it before, is I want to work a little bit more on the production end and getting it to be a more polished look when it comes to, live streaming an event, such as creating various logos, having proper lighting in my space. So if I turn on my video light, my video now is probably going to be all dark. Let's see what happens. Right, see how dark it is,
Mm.
and I'm using just a webcam off the computer, but sometimes I'll hook up my DSLR cameras and get that nice video stream. So I want to get that set up and get proper lights in the environment for the stream. Put that back off. Okay. So that, and again, what you said, to develop a audience that follows us and joins us. Right. One of the reasons why we do this on Discord is that the link is public, and pop on in and come chat with us. You can
Mm.
raise your hand, you can send a chat, or you can have a dialogue with us. We kind of want to recreate that environment since we can't meet in person, but just have it like potential for people we don't know just pop into our conversation. So that's something we've been trying, and it's a theory. We put the Discord link out there as part of the show notes and part of the event information, so it's open to whoever wants to join us. So, well, that's good. That's awesome. We're about at the 30-minute mark, so we can wrap this subject up. Any final words on it?
Oh yeah, I will say that I've actually enjoyed doing this thing with you, D. It's been fun. It's been a good year, and I look forward to another good year. Even
Absolutely.
though even though we're still in March.
Yeah, we're almost on year two. Man, can't believe it. Cool beans. So hey, you came in and like, hey, I got some things to talk about.
Yeah,
So
man.
what's these topics you have? What's the first one you want to talk about?
So D, as the people, anyone who's new to the show might not know, but you are a big D. I mean, you're a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, right?
Absolutely.
So, what is the one thing in Yu-Gi-Oh that you always wish you can do?
I wanted to actually do the card game like they do in the movie and the TV show.
you want to use the dual disc, right? You want to do that.
Yeah.
You want to do the cool thing where say you draw your card,
Yep.
and
And then it pops out, and then you get to
yep.
see the creatures battle.
It's one thing that I have never understood about the system is why they don't. I mean, I understand why they don't do it. It's expensive. It's a lot, but I never got why don't they just why don't they do it? So there was in 2018, Konami, the guys who do Yu-Gi-Oh, they had a special event where they did do it.
Really?
Yeah, for a little while, they actually decided, okay, you're going to draw your cards the same way you would do in Yu-Gi-Oh. You're going to go do this, you're going to do that. It's the whole shebang bang. That is something they did at one point or another. That's something they set up, but they only did it there
in Japan.
Yeah, it was a 2018. It was a 2018 quick thing that they did. It was like basically a demo, not even basically forgotten.
I'm trying to find it.
So, I mean, you're misspelling Konami first and foremost.
Yeah, I thought I changed it.
So Konami, 2018
World Championship.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, see the AR Duel exhibition. And I thought personally that it was a really nice and cool idea. This is the kind of thing people were like. This is the kind of thing I see people going into. But for whatever reason, it just they haven't done anything like this since.
So I'm watching.
So what you see now, they're dressing as two of the characters from the most recent version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like from 2000. Like I can't remember which one it was exactly. I think I want to say it was V-Reigns. Oh God, Yu-Gi-Oh! As a system has become there's so much to it, frankly.
Oh wow! Now that's awesome. Yes.
Like you get the whole Maximilian Pegasus thing where you see people basically draw your last pathetic card, Yugi. Like look at that, that's dope. And they even present the whole the bit to you. Like this is exciting to watch right here, you know.
That is awesome.
But the problem with that is, in my opinion, that they just did this one thing. They did it once, and they said to themselves, "Yep, that seems legit. We're gonna go onwards. We're going to go do something else now." There was no expansion of this idea. Imagine if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Imagine if you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right?
Uh-huh.
And you play in the tournaments, the card game tournaments, and then they say, okay, now you get to go to Worlds. And so you go to Worlds, and this is how, if you're on the top stage, this is how you play your card game. This is how you play.
Yeah.
Would you tell me you would not be interested in playing this game?
I would be interested in playing the game, but I developed stuff like this. And I can see why someone would say, okay, we tried it. We need to move on. I understand why they didn't follow up on it. And it's what I say all the time. It's the development takes a long time and it's expensive. And it probably can't keep up with the pace of the actual card game changing.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? Here's what I'm thinking. That part of this game, part of the reason why you go into this game is spectacle. Yu-Gi-Oh! As a card game, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to play it, frankly. You know, I'm not saying that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has to be exactly like the way I imagine it. But when I was a kid when I was actually actively into Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is how I imagined it, with this kind of spectacle, this kind of shenanigans.
Absolutely.
I would say you are, in terms of a competitive world right now, there is so many different esports, and they're trying to find new ways of trying to attract the users Like they're trying to attract the crowd. Esports have become. They realize esports is there's money in esports here, and this attracts a crowd. I would go see this.
But
Like
but you but you know no one can see that without special equipment. It's a problem when you have that many people. There's only one solution when you have that many people, and that's just to project it on a screen. And then they're
yes.
like, why are we spending all this extra money just to project it on the screen?
Well, I mean, let me put it this, right? They're going to be projecting the cost of this thing drops every year. Plus, you're going to be projecting a lot of this stuff on a screen anyway. Like you see all those people there. Imagine this is the crowd that would be there in 2017 as well. They'll
Yeah.
be there in 2019 as well too. The difference between 2017 and 2019 versus this is that instead of getting these nice, fun, little, cool effects, here's what you're going to be getting, right? You'll be getting basically a screen like you're getting now, but just watching them play cards. Bam, card, like that. Is that fun? I mean, I'm not gonna. It might be fun. It's just not. It's certainly not as exciting. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it would look good on a live stream. If they could do this on live stream, real time, that's where it'll look good. Like because I'm looking at the audience, the people there, and like all they are watching are just the people, and they're probably watching the people in the audience or the TV screen.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like there's for the thousands of attendants and the millions watching at home.
Yeah, for the millions watching at home probably can appreciate it better.
Exactly, but I mean that is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fan of wrestling, right? And in wrestling, they're beginning to use these sort of augmented kind of bits as well, where when a wrestler will come out, they would display their logo or their something, or will display their logo or like some kind of cool effect for them. And the reason why they would do that is because it's cheaper than it's cheaper than pyro. It's cheaper to present a 3D kind of cool image on screen than it is to basically show off this this kind of cool. It's easier to show off this 3D image on screen than it is to blow up a bunch of fireworks. One, it can be done. You can reuse a lot of that other stuff.
Yep.
To go back to this example, think of it like this, right? You say that it will cost a lot of money to create the 3D models for this. And that might be true. I ain't gonna deny that. I've worked with 3D models. We're trying to generate 3D models off of stuff. I know it's expensive. But once you create that 3D model, you're done.
Kind of. How's that? Because the game is constantly changing.
Yes.
So yeah, once you create it, but you have a model that you have to maintain. So yes, you have it, but you have to maintain it now.
So let me put it like this, right? They have video games. They have video games. They're making 3D movies now. They're already making the models and the assets already.
Hey, let me stop you right there. You already know that people make models all sorts of weird ways and can never share them. You know that for a fact. Just because someone's making it don't mean I can use it.
Now, that's fair, but that's the thing, though, right? You should be able to reuse it. That's the idea. Like in Pokemon, for example. So, like one of the things, like about Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
So in Sun and Moon, they released a Pokemon Sun and Moon. They said to everyone, "Hey, we're going through and we're digitizing all of our 3D models, right? So we're making it so where all of our 3D models are. We're going ahead and get all the Pokemon. We're making them into 3D models, right? That way we don't have to bother doing it again. So that way when we update it, when we go to the next system, we don't have to worry about it. It's already all there."
Hey Shane, this is an old battle that I've been working on for 20 years, and there are things out there that have tried to deal with this, such as Common Database. That's a format, that's a standard where we try to harmonize models and 3D terrains. There's another one even older called Cedrus. It dealt with synthetic environments and have a common transformation, a common language. And I don't know why. I do know why. This is if you can figure out how to do this, you're going to make a lot of money because it's been on the table for about 30 or 40 years and no one has figured out how to do it.
Well, I think it's a matter of three things in that regards. Like, things are developing faster and better than people anticipate. Like, most people don't go when they made this card game in the 1990s, they weren't expecting it to take off the way it did.
Absolutely.
It just happened.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened, you know. When when you make your stupid little Pokemon game, no one was expecting it to just kind of to pop off the way it did. It just happened. Like, where were you in 1996? Were you expecting that Pokemon was going to take over the world? Back in my school, you would not talk to. I wouldn't talk to you if you didn't watch Pokemon. You know.
Yeah.
So going to here though, I look at it with the sense of it's about will. Is it worth doing? Probably not. Like, I mean, they say with the size of their market, with the size of everything, it's just not worth the time. But I feel like as though we're in the realm of esports, spectacle matters. And if there's no spectacle, then I don't care.
Yeah, it'll come down to speed, speed of development, the accessibility, and then the overall cost. And I think we'll be there soon because this technology is starting to proliferate everywhere. Folks are realizing that. I'll throw it out there. I've been following Unreal, and I just attended a webinar. I think late last week on virtual digital characters, where they created a new tool called the MetaHuman creation tool, and we got to speak with the developers in real time, and how these real time tools are starting to become available to the consumers. Now, my background is modeling and simulation, and I've always worked in real time environments. It's the only way I've done augmented reality and virtual reality is in real time. Folks still, as we just saw, that stuff what we just watched is a production. Some of it real time, but a lot of those things were already pre-generated in some form or fashion. What Unreal is doing is allowing movies and TV shows to interact with these virtual environments in real time. So it's amazing to see a consumer version of this software, and they're covering so many things: the actors, the environment, the camera shots, and it's really amazing to watch because my background, real time simulation, is now I'm watching Unreal combine that with cinematography and video production, where you can generate all these amazing videos and movies in real time and not have to go back and deal with special effects and CGI. It's just all done right in real time. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. I would add to. So, did you see? Go look into Discord and look at the bit I posted.
Let's see, Discord.
So it'll be in the general chat.
The Project 8 ATEM Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yep. Take a look at that.
Okay. Yep.
Ooh, chicken sandwich.
Commercials.
Just. Oh. So this is a project someone made on their own.
Good. This is exactly where we need this to be at.
Using AR functionality. And guess what? These models, some of them he generated himself, but a lot of them he just took from their video games they already made. Or he took from models or other video games.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just that alone. So the reason why I say it's a lot of work. So if someone's creating these models from scratch, you have all these models with various states, animations, just making those models, right? But again, he probably is a DIY. You probably can find free models on the internet with all that stuff in it. But if you're building something, with the notion of trying to protect your IP, that's a lot of work.
Oh, certainly. But here's my bit, though, right? Like in terms of recognition, a lot of these this is with Euphoria, a system me and you've used before, and he's not doing anything, frankly, terribly complicated.
Nope, not at
Like
all.
he zoom forward a little bit on this in this video.
That's at the end.
All right, so there was an example of a YouTuber actually using this as in a game, where he would place, where basically he was placing it down, the thing will get rendered and going from there. Like, and actually having duels with this. So I can imagine like a system in place for it to be more consumer grade isn't much more. Like you won't require much more. Like he had it set up to where, he puts down where he would have two phones connect to one another. And then have the phones kind of so whenever you modified an aspect on one phone, it would get transmitted to the other.
See, I'm familiar with on how to do that. I've built systems to do that. But do you know developers who can do that?
Besides myself, yes, we both. I think we both know people who can do that.
To set up a two-way communication and work through all the challenges.
Well,
I see all the challenges with doing that.
Well, here's the bit, bud. It's network code. I mean, it's not like as though this is a fighting game or a shooter or something like that. This is a it's not like it's a fighting game or a shooter or something like that. This is a card game, which have turns, which have certain things. It doesn't need to be completely in sync. So you can, when it boils down to is this person attacks this person, this did happen there. Like I played Yu-Gi-Oh video games recently where I've had duels with people across the world. And functionally speaking, the difference is not really all that. There's not really much of a difference between me having a duel on my Switch and me using my phone to connect to another person's phone to have a duel. You get me?
I get you, and that makes total sense. My concern would be it is on a phone, and it is the lower end, and the PDUs I would suspect will just need to be designed pretty thoroughly is what I'm getting at. But you mentioned that it doesn't need to be completely in sync. I don't know what that looks like. That's a good point. Again, my real-time simulation, everything has to be thoroughly synced across the entire world. In a video game, it doesn't need to be synced, like you mentioned before. There could be some delay, which is okay.
Well, I mean, not in all video games, but I will say certainly in this one. Like I said, if you're playing Fortnite or some other game, you want there to be good ping, good syncness between the two of them. Right. But in a card game, who gives a crap?
Yeah, like a card game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's a delay between when I do a move and when it happens to me, as long as it's roughly, as long as it's roughly congruent with one another, you can make do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's where the folks who are going to crack this are the DIY individuals. It'll be for now. I think it'll be too expensive to do it at a large consumer level. Not to be different, not to be confused with being overly priced for a niche market who would pay the extra price for it.
I think here's the bit, right? I think the reason why it's gonna I agree with you on the sense that it's gonna be DIYers who are gonna do it, but more because I don't feel like as though there's a will between bigger companies to want to do it. They don't see a profit margin initially.
Absolutely.
So they're going to pass it up. Yep. And what's going to happen is eventually someone is going to try it. It's going to take off, and then you're going to see a flood of everyone trying to do it.
Yep.
You're going to see Magic trying to do it. You're going to see Wizards of the Coast with trying to do it. You're going to see more and more of it in real life. I mean, let me put it like this, right? You ever heard of Toys for Life?
No.
So Toys for Life is, you ever heard of Skylander or Disney Infinity?
Skylander rings a bell, but Disney Infinity, no.
So type in, since you're on YouTube, type in Skylander, like a Skylander commercial, just so that the people can be reminded of what this thing was.
You got to guide me to it. Do you see it?
Scroll down a little bit. There you go. We'll use that on official Skyliners Trap Team commercial. Turn off the volume here, so I can just yeah, there we go. So it was just running in the background. So what you did is that you would buy actual figurines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you buy these actual figurines, you could put them in
Shane,
games.
do you see the video?
Yes, I can see the video.
Okay, just making sure it's still going.
Yep. So what happens is you will take these figurines, you will put them on a special scan because they were using NFC technology, right? You will put them on a special scan, and then bam, the figure will show up in game. So that's the stand right there, right? And those figures around it are the action or the toys. So you put that toys onto the stand, and then they get scanned into the video game, and you can use them in the game. See,
I do remember this. It was probably I remember this, and I thought it was cool, but I just didn't want to buy any of that stuff. But I did think it was a very innovative way to integrate the physical with the digital.
Yep, I thought so as well. And I would say,
you know what? This is going to be great. I'm going to talk about this because I'm doing a talk on e-realities. I need to take a note on that. Hold on for a second. Notepad. I will absolutely use this as an example.
So, but here's the thing to remember with this thing, right? So, however, the Toys for Life industry in America right now is dead. It's already dead.
Uh-huh.
And what happened to it was oversaturation. So you see, Skylanders were the first ones to do it, right?
Yeah.
And they made Activision $1 billion in revenue. No, I think it was not revenue, profit.
Yeah.
$1 billion in profit. They sold, I think, over several million of these figurines, right?
Yep.
They sold several million of these figurines over the course of these things, and people were it was a huge deal. So naturally, whenever you hear someone making that kind of money, guess what happens? Everyone wants to do it now.
Bandwagon.
Yep. So then you start getting things like Lego. So Activision naturally feels the need to. They did the same thing they did with Guitar Hero. They feel the need to release one every single year. And so since they feel the need to release one every single year, there was a new, you have to buy more every single year.
That's right.
Then you get other companies were starting to jump in as well. Lego got into this. So like back out of this for a second. So look up Lego Dimensions.
Wow, did it hear you? Maybe because I made the connection from what I was looking at.
You can look at that 101 video right there. Just have that playing in the background here. This is an example of it. Like Lego Dimensions. So imagine Lego Toys for Life.
Mm-hmm.
They had Disney had their own Toys for Life called Disney Infinity. Nintendo had their own Toys for Life called Amiibo.
Yeah, I remember those from Nintendo too.
Yep, everyone had their own Toys for Life kind of thing because it was the huge deal, and everyone wanted to make that Skylanders money. But the problem is that now everyone and their mom has a Amiibo and whatnot, has a Toy for Life, and now the market isn't completely saturated, and then it died like that.
Yep, it was expensive. I recognized it for what it was up front. I was like, I would never. I mean, that's a cool idea. And I'm like, I would never buy that because I see where this is going. This is a crack my wallet open thing.
Yeah,
you invested in like buying a race car. It's like once you win, you got to spend some money.
Yep. Like, could you luckily for you, Kyle wasn't at that age where he would. Well, man, he was only a baby. He was even a baby at that time. He was just a little baby.
Nope.
So, like, this is one of those things where I feel like it kind of, if you were a parent at the time, this was what do you do? And then it became too saturated, too much, and then the industry died.
Yep.
Right then, it's astounding how quickly it just fell apart.
Yep. Yeah, it was overly expensive.
Well, it's not just that it was overly expensive. Like a figure, like I have an amiibo, right?
Yeah.
And I actually keep amiibos around because I like them as figurines. They're just good, like they're high quality figurines for me. But they cost me $8 a pop. So a lot of these figures will cost you buy a pack and they might get 3 of them and there's $20, right?
Yep.
$20 for a pack. And so you buy a pack of 20. Now you have this plastic. You have to, not to mention you have to buy the game on top of that.
Yep.
So the game is 60, and then the pack is an extra 20 for everyone you want to get in there.
And don't you got to buy the interface too?
What do you mean by the interface?
The thing that scans it in to say, hey, to recognize the NFC.
Oh, that comes with the pack.
Okay.
So that comes with the initial game that you buy. So when you buy the game for $60, it comes with that. But you can see how it just becomes a crap ton after a while.
Yep.
I ain't saying that I hate it. I'm just saying that's a lot.
Yep.
But people are going to people, and they just kept going with it. They got obsessed with it until they stopped, and then next thing you know, the whole industry's dead. It's honestly kind of sad when you observe it. You know, this like it was such a very cool, interesting idea, and just all in one shot, bam, killed.
Yep. Well, hey, this seems like a good spot for us to wind it down to do our outro for our show. This is really cool technology, and not to answer now, but I kind of wonder how could you take this technology, innovate, and make something new and relevant today? Maybe we'll talk about that next time, or maybe we'll just talk about it offline. But I love the idea. I love the concept, but I never tried it just because I had a lot of other things going on at the time. But what a great idea. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Any final words on it, Chane?
I mean, this technology is incredibly fascinating to me, and I think there was a lot more to it than what happened. I find it tragic, really, that it didn't quite get the audience that it got the audience it deserved, but then kind of died due to oversaturation. It's a tragic fate.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, those were very great topics, Chane. We talked about Yu-Gi-Oh, and we talked about the NFC toy market and how the underlying technology, was innovative, or I should say, the creators used some innovative technology to enhance their products. So that was awesome. So I've gone back to the Atlanta Singularity University page. And again, if you're listening to the show, please subscribe either to my social media or come to the Singularity University Atlanta Chapter social medias. You can Google that and it should pop right on up. I'll eventually get it into our show as some lower thirds. I'm still working on that. But, come join our chapter. Please join our chapter. We're looking for members so we can have these cool discussions and cool talks. It costs you nothing to be a member. All you just have to have is an interest. You can talk, you can listen, you can share. Utilize this chapter in the network that we're working on and growing to share in our enjoyment of technology. What do we have coming up? So one thing that we have coming up is that we're going to do some meetings in virtual reality in a few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. And we're going to host a live session in VR. And we're going to have some VR games as icebreakers. So please subscribe so you can know when that happens, and you'll get the notification when it comes out. Again, follow me, Deigratia, on my social media, which is on the page. And then Chane, how can the people find you? Let the people know how to find you. Woo!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can find me at a variety of different kind of places. You can find me on Facebook at Chane Grant. You can find me on the LinkedIn at Chane Grant. I'm also a member of SingularityU, and so you can see me. You can see me on those sites as well. So keep an eye out for me there. I am open to any conversation about technology, how you feel they can modify the world, what kind of things we're going through there. One of the things we focus on in the Vanishing Point is not just how it's just not just VR or AR, although we often talk about that, but we also focus on we also focus on how technology affects other matter more mundane things. So one of the things we were talking about was esports and how that is becoming more of a prevalent thing. We also like to talk about how technology affects things like, say, language acquisition. How can you use technology to do other things? So please, ladies and gentlemen, join us on Singularity U, and we would appreciate just having you there with us, just for us to all talk, chat, kind of communicate, and see how technology can both be involved with your life, but improve aspects of your life that you didn't know.
Absolutely.
Things like diet and the like.
That's great, man. We definitely need to plan out some of those things. I want to talk. I want to do that. Let's do the health. Let's do the next one on health or something like that. I love it.
We actually did one last couple of weeks back where we actually talked about VR boxing.
Yeah.
And how I was trying to lose weight using VR.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been an interesting process so far, I would say.
There's been more to come out too since then.
Yep.
I've been following on some of the blogs that I follow. They've been talking about those, and actually, I'm not monitoring closely, but it seems to be increasing.
What it seems to be increasing,
the interest and the proliferation of the stuff. But hey, I don't want to start. We'll start talking about this all night, so I'm gonna stop there.
All right, so we'll
and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. All right, Shane, you want to take us out?
All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you in the Vanishing.
Thank you so much, everyone. This has been fun. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.